So Astra is the newest controller coming to Valorant today, and I'm sure a ton of you guys are going to want to try her out. So I just wanted to make this beginner guide for Astra, just going over her abilities and giving you guys a few tips for her, and to hopefully help lead you guys to lead your teams to victory when using Astra. But just before the video starts, if you guys would not mind hitting that like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell, it helps me out and it helps you guys never miss a video every time I post one here on my channel. And also, if you want to watch me play Astra live and all the new Act 2 content live today, I stream every day except for Wednesdays and Sundays over at my Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/iridium, and the link is down in the description below. If you guys do decide to come by, I'd love to have you, and make sure to let me know you came from YouTube. So without any further ado, let's get right into this beginner's guide of Astra. So Astra is very unique in the way that she uses all of her abilities within one area, which is called her astral form. This is the same button that you'll be using for your ultimate, which is defaulted to X if you guys have the default controls. In this astral form, you are able to place things called stars, and from these stars, you are able to trigger all of Astra's abilities. One being her gravity well, which is defaulted to C. Players that are in the gravity well are pulled towards the center before it explodes, and if you are in the center when it explodes, all players inside will be weakened, similar to a Killjoy alarm bot. Next, Astra's Q ability is her Nova Pulse, and this is a concussion ability of sorts. It'll charge for a brief period of time, and then it'll strike and concuss all players within its radius. Astra's E ability is called Nebula, and this is essentially just a smoke like an Omen smoke. If you pop it, the star will transform into the smoke and you can go in it similar to an Omen smoke. And a cool side ability that Astra has is called Dissipate, and this is the F ability. You use this to take your stars back, but also when you do take the star back, it pops a fake Nebula smoke for just 2 seconds. So you can use this for some really cool fakes to hopefully bait an enemy team to one site when you're actually going to the other. And once you take the star back, it will take a few seconds to charge back up so you can use it again. And finally, Astra's ult is called Cosmic Divide, and this is one absolutely massive wall that spans throughout the entire map depending on where you place it, and it can just completely divide the map in half, or divide a site in half, or wherever you want it to be dividing. It will just completely cut that space in half. Once the Cosmic Divide is up, it will block bullets from going through, and it will heavily dampen audio on either side. And this is kind of a blessing and a curse, because if you are on a site while the ult is up, it's kind of hard to hear the enemy team getting ready for a retake on the other side. So just make sure you have someone close to the edge of the wall that is kind of listening in, or even better if someone is on the other side of the wall hiding behind a corner or something so they can hear the other team setting up for a retake through the wall. Many times when I was testing Astra, I would get caught off guard by a Raze double satcheling in from the other side of the wall, and I was not able to hear that being set up. Without any warning, she just came flying through and just destroyed us on site. So that's just something to keep in mind when using this ult. Very powerful, but can also lead to your death very quickly. So that's going to do it for a quick run through of all of Astra's abilities. Now, just before you go out and do your own games, I just want to give you guys a couple tips that I have found when playing Astra that really helped me out, and I hope they help you out too within your first couple of games. The first and most important mentality that you need to have when using Astra is to just completely lose the frag mentality. If you're picking Astra, you are not expecting to get a lot of kills. You're practically going to be playing an RTS game, just staring above, top-down view of the whole map, guiding your little minions to wherever you want them to go, and having them play off of your abilities. You cannot expect to drop 30 bombs when using Astra. Although personally, I would love to see if I can make Astra an aggressive character, but as of now, she's not the person that's going to be fragging, so don't go in when playing her expecting to do that. The next thing to make sure of when you're playing Astra is just to make sure you're not placing your stars too early on attacking side. The only exception to this is going to be if you're faking a specific site, but if you place your stars too early, it's just really easy for the enemy team to assume what you're doing. If you're placing 2 stars in Heaven A Ascent and you have a star in front of the door, they're gonna assume you're taking A site, and they're already gonna have people rotating over from B site. When I play Astra on attack, I usually like to play my stars just kind of as the round plays out, or if my team is planning to just W key a specific site, I'll lay the stars down with like 3 seconds left in the countdown timer, so it gives the enemy team very little time to assume what we're doing. Moving on to my third tip is just to make sure you're placing your stars in choke points. Going back to our setting in A site on Ascent, if you're trying to do a fast A take, the great thing that we found to do when using Astra was at about 1 second left in the countdown timer, quickly place a star down in the choke point of A main, whether you're on a defense or attack. And then as that star is placed at 1 second, quickly trigger the gravity well ability. And no matter what side you're on, whoever's going for A main control is going to get sucked into that middle of the gravity well, and you can get a quick kill on them to get aiming control or open up the sight. And you can take this around the whole entire map, placing the stars in different choke points for different situations, but just make sure you're not placing them out in the middle of the open unless you know someone is there. Or another exception could be if you're trying to bait someone into a specific spot in the middle of the map. My fourth tip for you guys is to make sure you're saving Astra's ult for retakes, as well as saving it for taking sites. Like I talked about earlier, the fact that this thing blocks a lot of sound on either side is very powerful for when you're retaking or taking a site. So just make sure you're saving that ult for those specific moments when it's really useful and when you specifically know that you're going to be in one portion of the map, because if you just blow it in the middle of the round, you kind of eliminate a lot of that info that you can gather mid-round of where the other team could be going or where they're defending. And my last tip I have for using Astra is just to try to IGL more when using her. I know this may be a little bit uncomfortable for some of you guys, but she is definitely going to be the IGL of most teams. Like I said earlier, you're practically playing an RTS game looking top down when you're in her astral form, just guiding your team to specific areas and playing around your abilities. And comms are super important when using her. So if you can just kind of control the whole game and control your team when using her, it'll make your abilities a lot more effective, and it'll hopefully lead to more round wins and more game wins for you guys in the end. So that's going to do it for my beginner guide on Astra. I really hope you guys have fun playing her today. Let me know if you have any other questions down in the comments below, or if you find any super broken things out with her in the comments below. I'll be replying to all you guys as I always do. Again, do not forget to come check out my Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/iridium, where I'm going to be streaming a bunch of the new Act 2 content. I can't wait to use this new Prime 2.0 skin set as well. So again, if you want to see it in action and some sweaty Immortal games in action, make sure to head over to the stream and let me know you came from YouTube. So without any further ado, I will see you guys in my next upload. And on that note, ta-ta for now.